Welcome to This Week in East Brunswick. Today we head up to East Brunswick High School to recognize two longtime coaches and educators that got the boys basketball program started, Mr. John Emery and Mr. Dudley Tighe. Then we check out a puppet show by Tanglewood Marionettes at the East Brunswick Public Library. Plus we have information about an upcoming Evening of Gospel Choirs in honor of Black History Month. All this, plus we head back to East Brunswick High School to celebrate the senior student athletes and managers of the varsity boys basketball team. So stay with us. This Week in East Brunswick starts now.
Please say hello and welcome to Mr. Emery and Mr. Tighe.
An impromptu reunion was held before a recent boys basketball game as the first two coaches in program history, Mr. John Emery and Mr. Dudley Tighe, were recognized for their dedication to East Brunswick High School. Former athletic director Frank Knoppenberger was there to talk with the coaches and some of the athletes that played for the legendary coaches.
With me is one of the first coaches. He was a JV coach for 16 years and head coach for 5 years after that, Mr. Dudley Tighe. How has the game changed since 1962?
Three-point shot. I feel the players are bigger, quicker, stronger, more skilled with their basketball techniques.
Now, I remember your second year as head coach. We had a real good season, but what's your fondest memory, and that includes your 16 years as JV coach?
It's hard. It's hard to pick out one, but I think when Kevin McCallum hit the last shot against Colonia over there, we won the game. It was very, very thrilling.
We're joined now by our first head coach ever at East Brunswick, Mr. John Emery. Started coaching in 1962 and finished up in the 77 year. John, a lot of your former players are back. Tell us, what's your fondest memory of coaching?
Well, first I want to thank you for arranging this get-together to see people. And it's really memorable to talk to people that have been here 50 years ago and more. So as far as my fondest memories, I think some of them go back to the early years, back in the 60s. The school was new, the teachers were new. It was just a wonderful time to be a part of the whole thing.
Now, you and I have sat through many basketball games. What's the one biggest change you see in the boys basketball game?
Two things that were not allowed back when I was coaching was dunking and the three-point play. And as everybody's aware, they've really changed the nature of the game. Kids love to dunk, they're big enough, and you watch any kid in their back driveway or whatever, they go out and they start throwing up threes because they watch the pros and the college. My brothers and I used to play with a lampshade in the basement with a tennis ball, and we had more fun. I mean, I can remember that like it just happened.
From the class of '84, we got Glenn Monaseski. Glenn, thanks for coming. The first question I got to ask you is, how many points would you have scored if the three-point shot was in play when you were there?
Well, certainly a few more a game. That's no question about that. That three-point shot was really changed the game drastically. The center position almost extinct now, and you really have to be a versatile player now on the court and be able to hit that, even as a big man.
But one constant in all these years is the Monaseski family and basketball, boys and girls at East Brunswick High School. Why is that?
Well, I got to give credit to my older brother John on that. He just got us started at a young age, and it just right down the ladder for me and my brothers and my sister. We come from a big family and lots of cousins and friends. And all of our free time was basically playing sports, not just basketball, all sports. But basketball in general really was our first love. Through St. Bart's and Churchill and East Brunswick, we've all played. And we coached our kids now, and now they're playing, so it's really a pleasure to watch them out there.
How many boys or girls are on the program right now?
So we've got 4. John's got his 2 daughters, and I have my son and my daughter.
Now I'm with Mr. Keith Lane, and we all know him, a longtime coach and teacher at East Brunswick, an outstanding player during his day for Mr. Tighe. Coach, you've seen the change in the game. What is the biggest change in the game from when you played to now?
Oh, it's definitely a lot more up-tempo. The three-point line has really changed things. A lot of three-point shots being taken. Not quite as fundamentally sound as it was, 20, 30 years ago, but definitely a more up-tempo style. I will say playing for Mr. Tighe and obviously Mr. Emery and playing for Mr. Knoppenberger, their influence is still present in East Brunswick basketball today. If you were to go see the girls varsity play, you'll still see some things that Coach Tighe and Coach Emery were doing 30, 40 years ago. Things like the walk-up, press offense, inbounds plays. So their influence is really, really still around, and that's great to see because a lot of towns don't have that. And we were very fortunate to have that in East Brunswick. But not only were they, good coaches, they were excellent role models, good family guys, good fathers, good husbands, and that role model mentality has really transcended down and helped us tremendously. And like I said, a lot of towns don't have that.
And now I'm joined by another outstanding basketball alumnus, Steve Purvell, class of '80, varsity basketball player for Mr. Tighe. Haven't been back here in a while. I haven't seen you. The gym has changed a little. The game has changed a little since you played. What's your biggest change in your mind of the game?
Biggest change in my mind of the game is the quickness. The kids are so much bigger than we were, and I just think the up-tempo of the game and how they go about the coaching is completely different from what we had, because our coaches were a little different than the coaching of today, but they were still great, and it was still a wonderful time to be under East Brunswick Bear High School basketball.
Well, Steve is the current principal of an elementary school in Edison. What's it like coming back to East Brunswick, even though you're employed by Edison? Although you did coach here. Tell us about coaching here.
I coached softball with Reggie Carney, and I love coaching the girls, and I really think we started growing the program together, and so that was a lot of fun. And I know East Brunswick softball has taken off since then. And also, East Brunswick's always home for all of us. It's great to see all these guys here today. I'm always fond of Frank and all the coaches before me, and they've all had an input of getting me to where I am today, because the lessons they taught me is the lessons I still pass on to the kids. And I had the pleasure of Frank hiring me. I got to work at Hammersholt for 4 years, and then I coached girls basketball at Churchill, the 8th grade, with some great players, and then the softball, and then I moved on to Edison. So I thank everybody for that, and I appreciate all the lessons I've learned to be the person I am today.
Another one of our formers to come back is Alan Tischhauser, class of '81, basketball star and baseball star for us. But a little wrinkle now. You have your son who's playing varsity basketball. So the first question to you is, one-on-one, who would win, Al?
I think I still have a little gas in the tank, so I think I teach him a lesson. I think it's very special and exciting that my son had the opportunity to play at my alma mater and sort of follow in my footsteps playing basketball and baseball. So my wife and I are very privileged and honored to have him play here at East Brunswick, and we're having fun with it. So we're looking to see what the future holds. I'm
going to let you go talk to a lot of your teammates. There's a lot of people here, and thanks for joining and helping us.
And I just wanted to let you know that Coach Knopp is the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Seriously, my idol and my role model.
I now have been a basketball official for about 35 years and worked the Maryland State semifinals, and I've gotten the base for that and the love for the game from them. Favorite story might be that a lot of people will tell on me is I lost a contact lens one night out here, and we were all crawling around on the floor to try to find it, and one of my buddies who was on the top row said, "Wait a minute, I see it, I see it." And everybody's like, "Yeah, right." He came all the way down from the top row and found my contact lens. But a lot of fond memories of
what they tell me, Jack, if you were around, if the three-point shot was around when you were playing, you would have been in the NBA. Is there any truth to that?
No, that's grossly exaggerated, Frank.
I don't think you think about East Brunswick athletics without these two extraordinary members. Even well after retirement, they come to games, they support our teams. They are just amazing human beings, and what a privilege to be here tonight to see them.
I think it's outstanding to see people from East Brunswick come back and just show respect to their coaches that were here for so long. They get to tell old war stories, watch a game that's going on here, and really support the athletes that are here in East Brunswick. Just being an East Brunswick guy, I've heard so many great things about them. They were admirable people here that obviously people have come back to show their respect towards. So it's a great thing for them. I'm glad that they're here, and their legacy will always be remembered here.
called Tanglewood Marionettes. We've been touring since 1993. We are a assembly program, and today's show is Fairy Circus, but we also have 7 other titles, and we love touring and seeing all the faces around the country. Today's show is called The Fairy Circus, and it's a vaudeville variety trick marionette show. It's a lot of fun. Our website is tanglewoodmarionettes.com, 2 long, hard to spell words back to back, which is fantastic. And you can see our public show schedule listed on the website.
My name is Chris Gillespie, your host on East Brunswick Television, and we're here today to talk about the Evening of Gospel Choirs. It's Saturday, February 29th. It's at the Bush Student Center, starts at 7 p.m. It's on 604 Bartholomew Road in Piscataway, New Jersey. And I'm here with Pastor Brenda Lumsey and Essence Rose to help. We're going to talk about what takes place there. Pastor Brenda, let's start with you. How long have you been doing this?
Oh my goodness. How long have we been doing? How long has it been in existence?
I think since 1981.
Okay.
It's hard for me to do the arithmetic.
Yes, well, I've been there about that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went from just being guest artists on the show to hosting, emceeing, and producing. And I'm just excited about what God is still doing and that He's still honoring our appointment for this show.
Yeah, it's tied into Black History Month.
Yes.
And I understand it's the oldest and continuous, best attended Black History Month at Rutgers. Used to be at the Voorhees Chapel on Douglas.
Yes.
We've recently moved over to Piscataway to the Bush Student Center.
Right.
And tell me a little bit about the choirs going to come this year.
The choirs, we're going to have Unity from Southbound Brook. Awesome group of singers who love the Lord. Also, we're going to have the Mount Calvary Community Choir. They're going to be there as well. And then we're going to have the choir from Macedonia, Free Will Baptist Church. They're going to be there. And our special guest this year, Dr. Gillespie, is going to be none other than Essence Rose, right out of New Brunswick, born, raised in New Brunswick, New Jersey, followed the Lumsey sisters from birth, and now God has blessed her and favored her, and she's going to be our featured guest this year.
Well, Essence Rose, tell me a little bit, how did you get started in the music business?
Oh my goodness, well, as this is my mother as well, as she said, actually as a youth in my church singing in the choir. We did not have a choice. We had to sing in the choir coming up. And then I followed the Lumsey sisters. My grandmother, God rest her soul, Emma Lumsey, she taught them voice, and they became the Lumsey sisters, and so I would travel with them. And with my situation, once I became older, I experienced domestic violence. And through that situation, God began to birth songs through me. And so, like my mother, I became a songwriter. And it was like I would just hear songs that would just drop in my spirit. And I started writing songs. And the first song that the Lord gave me while going through that horrific situation was, "You are fearfully and wonderfully made. In spite of what you're going through, you're still my daughter. You're still beautiful. I still love you." And I've since written about 5 more songs. So I always say that there's a reason that God gave me those songs and allow me to go through what I did so that I can give hope and healing to others.
Well, you recorded Fearfully and Wonderfully Made.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. And who were the backup singers on that album?
Actually, I was.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
You backed yourself up.
Yes, I recorded all the parts for the background.
I trained her.
I had no idea.
No.
I had no idea. When I listened to it, I said, wow,
Yes.
it's not only the soloist, but she's got this backup choir. But that was you.
That was me.
Okay.
In the
And
studio.
what about the musicians? Who were the backup musicians?
The musicians, they're out of New York, some gentlemen that I know, and they helped with arranging the music, other gospel artists.
What's next? Is there another album in the works?
There's more to come. I'm ready to get in the studio to work with producers to produce the sound and the ministry that God has given me. But I have like 6 songs waiting to be recorded so we can do a full CD.
You're going to be the headliner in this concert. What songs do you envision for this concert?
Oh, wow. Well, definitely Fearfully and Wonderfully Made, which is the first song. Don't ever give up. You know, we go through situations in life and people often want to just give up. And I want to encourage them that I don't care how hard it is, God gives you the strength, He gives you a way out. Don't ever give up. And there's one particular song that God gave me a couple of years ago that's called Your Way. And I talk about how we are faced with different trials and decisions in our lives, and we consult everyone else but God. And He's saying, why don't you try it my way? Because I've seen what you're going through now, and I've seen the future. So I can kind of give you some insight on doing it my way. And if you follow my path, you'll come out okay. So those are some of the ones that I'm going to do.
And Pastor Brenda, your choir at the missionary church on Troop in New Brunswick, what characterizes your choir?
My choir is laid back. We've kind of followed the old traditional vein, because of my dad. One of his favorite songs was "I Don't Know Why, I Have to Cry Sometime." And the song goes all the way back to the 1900s. And he used to sing that song, and we'd have to be his backup singers for the song. And my sisters and I always said, why don't we teach your dad another song? That's the only song he know. But now that he's gone, and as I follow the history of our ancestors, I understand why he said, I don't know why I have to cry sometime, but there will be a perfect day when all of our troubles are rolled away. And that's the vein that we kind of following. And we have some traditional and also some contemporary, thank you, that we're doing. But I like to stay in the traditional vein because I like to remind our people, not where, in a bad way where we came from, but in a good way where God is bringing us to. And we're all one when it really comes down to the naked truth.
Your church in New Brunswick, what do you see its mission?
The mission is to just spread the love of Jesus Christ, no matter what color, what creed, what ethnicity, it is but to spread the love of Christ and to feed people that are on the street hungry and those that don't have a place to stay, to bring them in and give them shelter. It doesn't matter. And to give them something to put on, clothing on their backs. And we're so wrapped up in who we are, what we have accomplished. But there are people in China, there are people in Africa, there are people in Indonesia, but there are people in New Brunswick and New Jersey who are starving, who are out of doors, who don't have clothes. And that's our mission first, to take care of home and then spread it abroad.
So again, this is an evening of gospel choirs.
Yes.
It's going to be 7 p.m. Saturday, February 29th at the Bush Student Center. It's at 604 Bartholomew Road.
Yes.
And it's free parking and free admission. But if you check the website, there's information on how to register your car for the free
to park.
park.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we hope everybody can come out Saturday, February 29th, 7 p.m., Bush Student Center, an evening of gospel choirs carrying on the tradition that's been almost 40 years.
Well, yes. Oh, wow.
Thank you, Pastor Brenda.
Thank
you, Essence Rose.
Thank you, Dr. Gillespie.
The East Brunswick High School boys basketball team recently celebrated senior night, recognizing the student athletes and managers from the class of 2020. Let's check out some of the action and meet the seniors.
you love to work on DIY, crafting, modeling, or art projects? Join us at the East Brunswick Public Library for our Week of Making, a 6-day celebration of New Jersey Makers Day, March 16th through 21st. Whether you're an adult, teen, or child, come learn about 3D printing, sewing, die cutting, GoPro filmmaking, cooking, bike repair, with over 24 events for you to choose from. For the full schedule, please visit ebpl.org/calendar. We hope to see you during the 6th year of programming celebrating the DIY movement.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, John. Hey, Brunswick. How's it going?
Oh, it's going great. Hey, did you hear about that new pricing bundle we got going on for the families that sign up for day camp?
Bundle? What bundle?
Yeah, it's this wonderful bundle for the families that sign up for day camp can also get $100 off their Crystal Springs Family Season Pass.
Whoa, that's a steal.
No. It's not a steal. Steal makes it sound like we're doing something bad. It's a bundle. It's a word that you want to, hug. Makes you feel good. Pricing bundle.
Got it.
What, Brunswick? Don't look at me that way. No, I didn't steal your honey. Shouldn't you be hibernating right now? Dude, come on, you're molting everywhere.
Brunswick, you have a phone call.